What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Empress Daddy, back with another episode of the Daily Grind. Let's jump straight in and get today's messages, pouring you up a nice hot cup of joe, going to get you off to a bright and beautiful start. Make sure you do all the button things for me. Hit that like button. Make sure you follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. And let's jump straight in. Today is about lessons learned. You may find there are things that you have been through and something about today that changes. I'm not going through that anymore. And it has to do with comprehension, right? Understanding perhaps what rule to apply. Sometimes this is like we have information, but we don't have a sufficient balance of information. So we have just enough perhaps to be dangerous or just enough information. I just heard a tidbit. And so things don't work, pineapples, right? And then what happens is we end up having to go back later to learn what we didn't learn, or we neglect the opportunity altogether, feeling as though there's failure because of the fact that we didn't learn everything we needed to know. No, right? Shout out to Jadakiss. He could be significant. I want to say his real name is Jason, so the name Jason could be significant. But that's a song that Jadakiss sings. What if you never knew things that you needed to know? What if you never been places you needed to go? What if? So there could be some significance around that. What if you were never able to accomplish some of the things that you endeavored to accomplish? Well, what if perhaps that was for lack of knowledge? People perish, right? So we know it happens all the time. What did Miles Monroe say? He said the richest or wealthiest place in the world is a cemetery, right? I just heard Where Dreams Go to Die. And the first card that literally flying out this morning is manifest. Are you making manifest at the top of the day? Shake it like a salt shaker, shake it like a salt shaker. Is that what you're doing? Some of you, yeah, I'm gonna make some shit. Some of you, you're just doing the dang thing. Harvest is at the bottom of the deck. So I feel like manifestation is becoming a part of your regular existence, and this is part of your comprehension, right? So some of you may have been feeling pressured to try really hard, or just kind of feeling like, God, why you putting me through this battery of testing just to be able to prove I can make manifest. And so some of you, if you have maybe been feeling that way, or like, I keep trying and oh my gosh, nothing is coming. Um, it feels as though manifestation is coming easier. You're finding there's a harvest. It usually gives the energy of like growth. This can mean bigger manifestations. This could also mean like, and for those of you who maybe have been with me on this journey of just establishing, I'm getting like the framework. There could be something significant about a framework. There could be something significant around IT security, but in security frameworks, the reason that you build the framework or the security infrastructure is to be able to safeguard or to protect the information that you intend to house in the infrastructure, right? No different than the infrastructure of your home or your workspace, any other building. The reason that you create that infrastructure and you build it airtight, strong, sound is to protect your family, right? Your belongings, perhaps from the weather, from the environment, from the elements, also from intruders, right? From bad actors, from people who want in that, right? But you can't get in this club, okay? So there could be something significant about infrastructure. Some of you, that could be the case. Keep in mind, infrastructure is in a lot of things, right? You think about your business. Your business plan would be the infrastructure of your business. What's holding it up, right? So some of you, as you are taking the steps to progress in your life, some of the things that you tried and you tried and you tried, but you couldn't make it right. Some of those things that you tried are now beginning to come easier, and you're beginning to understand not only how to make them work, but why they didn't work previously. Because I feel like you perhaps at least have been more observant than perhaps active previously to see how your work is working. And keep in mind, this can be your self-work, the things that you're doing on yourself, the lessons that you're applying as it pertains to your own power, your own knowledge, the way you use what you understand about the world around you, people, things, right? Some of you, it's literally quantum physics, standing back in the observer role, watching that young collapse. And that could have been something you could have gone through a lot because you were not willing to take on the observer role in order to see that young thing collapse. But you're realizing that manifestation comes on the other side, often of a breakdown. And some of you, your understanding of this has you really looking a lot more closely, a lot more deeply, digging into some of the things it is that you have been putting your energy and your effort into. Intention comes out in the middle of the day in new chapter. So usually that indicates something that you're doing, a step that you're taking midday could certainly be setting forth what goes at the baseline of some sort of new chapter or venture that you're embarking on. Um, so it feels like if you are making any type of choice or decision midday, assure that you lead with intention. Um, Perhaps because whatever that is going to be a part of your new chapter. So I feel like this is important. Sometimes this can be like in relationships, right? Put your foot down, right? Put your foot on their neck, right? It doesn't have to be, right? This can be in business, right? It really does kind of get the energy of like starting off on the right foot, which can be like first things first. It can housekeeping, right? It could also have to do with like the way in which things are done. Sometimes this is like because I want X outcome, right? Because I want to see you on the other side of this. I want to see some things begin to line up, or I want this to be organized. This is the foot that I'm starting on. This is the way that this has to begin if this is going to continue in whatever this way is. Okay. Some of y'all, I'm also picking up the energy like this could be with your kids, right? You think about it, right? Train up a child in the way he should go. So some of you, this could certainly be like at the beginning of things, right? Otherwise, kind of giving like now school is starting, or like it could even be like break. Now we go to break before break begins, right? This is what y'all gonna be doing, right? So, in some of you, you just may find that you benefit from establishing some sort of order like that in a given circumstance. Last card of the day is Le Messenger. Okay. Le Messenger. Okay. There's a message, all right? Is it being sent? Is it being received? I see purity at the bottom of the deck. Okay. Some of you, what is taking place today and what feels like a highlighter focus around midday with intention is your intentions are being communicated with the messenger. By the end of the day, somebody realizes this could be like realizes my intentions are good, right? I have pure intentions. Some of you, this is perhaps a message that you need to send. Some of you, this is one maybe that you need to receive with purity. You may need to receive what could be it, because sometimes, right, the reason things don't work out is perhaps because of someone else's lack of understanding. Yeah, I hear Men of Standard, they have a song, but one verse in the song says, "Please help my unbelief," and it comes from the story of Job. Um, and sometimes this is where we tried so many times, or we've been through so much that we struggle with unbelief. We maybe have trouble really believing that it's possible. And sometimes we have trouble believing that it's possible without quote unquote going through all of that, right? Without a fight, without difficulty, without a struggle, right? Without pressure. And something gives me the impression that ain't this, okay? This ain't game. This don't take all of that, okay? So some of you, it could certainly be a job or work that you're embarking on. This could just be something that you're endeavoring to do. It could be a course of study or the information's application itself. It don't take all that. It's not that difficult. This I just heard works for itself. So for some of you, that could be significant, right? And I could be referring to you. I could be referring that to something that you're looking at. It works for itself, right? It works on its own. It doesn't need, I don't know why it's giving like batteries to operate. This is like something is, I don't know why I'm getting like fully motivated and self-charged. Something doesn't need to be started. And I definitely feel for some of you, because this is coming up, that's part of the message that's being sent today. It's this energy of like pure blood or pure bread. What gives In business, we have the 80-20 rule, and there could be some significance around that. And some of you may be identifying or better understanding circumstances, situations, people in your lives and where they fit. Are they a part of the 80 or are they a part of the 20? And the rule essentially says that 20% of the people do 80% of the work. And to be completely honest, that usually indicates that 80% of people are lazy as shit and just sit on their ass while 20% of the people pull the majority of the weight. Similarly, it speaks to that 20% perhaps looking at all of the spoils, all of the jewels that the 80%'s lazy ass is willing to leave on the table and saying, absolutely not. Now that I understand this, what y'all leaving behind, what y'all know, how much y'all not doing, it demonstrates to me, or I understand perhaps my capability. This could also be like for some of you, I know what I deserve now. I know what I'm worth or what it's worth. And some of you, I don't know why I am picking up something around pricing. So some of you, this could be where you're improving. You're getting better at pricing. I'm getting something around cost. You better understand cost. Some of you, this could simply be finance, period. I'm not necessarily picking up cards for that per se, but I feel this energy of like studying what could be like, it could be like finance. I'm kind of getting like bookkeeping, CPA, cost of goods sold, cost of doing business, revenue, profits, expense, things like that, right? It gives like the balance sheet is something that you understand, which just being completely clear could certainly have to do with like the balance of life, right? It's giving money coming in, money going out, but energy spend expenditures. So some of you, that's what you understand. You're giving energy to something, someone you've been studying, you've been paying attention, perhaps to understand what's taking your energy and also to understand what you're giving your what is giving you energy or what is giving you life. But on the other side of like studying this and understanding this, or this could even be in a situation, this is kind of like, you know what to do then. Since I know what's taking your vitality or my vitality or the vitality from a situation, I know why something maybe isn't working or hasn't worked. I know I just heard how to make it work. Okay. So some of you, you're starting to see some things work for that reason. And today has everything to do with that, what feels like getting the message across very clearly. And some of you, this has already been done. You're already working through this. So this is not you having to per se do anything special, but this could certainly speak to your intention reflecting to you. So for those of you who are like, dang, I've been doing my best, right? What the hell? Right? No, I ain't bashing you. Some of you, you're expressing this appropriately. And today's manifestation is a demonstration of when you properly place your intentions or make your intentions known, or when that's perhaps at the foundation, when you set intention at the foundation of a new chapter, you're getting a messenger of perhaps even purity gives like a diamond, right? And more deeply clarity, right? If you think about diamonds usually that's their value is based on their clarity, or like I said, purity is what we have here. So if you think about that, this could certainly be like you getting the jewels, you getting the gems, you getting the value out of a person, out of a situation, a circumstance, but it's basically sending you a message of the level of clarity, the purity of the gems that you're going to get when you establish intention at the root. And this is actually, for some of you, human design could perhaps resonate. Some of you may feel very deeply about that. The name Kui could be significant. But the reason I mention that is because in human design, some of you may have studied that model, and even other models, but there is the belief that each person has a crystal in them, a design crystal, the way you were designed. So think about it like this is lapis lazuli or lazuli. Lapis is a blue stone. But say this was my design crystal. This was the one that basically powered my internal grid, right? And I realize we haven't necessarily talked about things of that nature, but that's essentially what a crystal does. If you know, crystals hold energy, all earth earth, all naturally produced things hold a certain energy or vibration. And so if we look at ourselves and we say we each have a design crystal, a way that we were designed or fashioned to do, again, the intention that was set forth within us when we were conceived, born, whatever, right? Then this would basically be clarifying that design crystal, which can indicate your purpose. You better understand your purpose, your reason, right? And again, and these are in mundane situations, small, minute things. These are also in the bigger, overarching things. So this is not just a single thing today. This is an overarching theme that you're going to notice throughout the day, in which means that where you're seeing, again, the message is purity, there's a lack of order, that could indicate there's a need to go back and establish intention at the root of it. And you have an opportunity to be able to do that. There's an opportunity to, what, with the diamond, to be able to clarify or to clear that up, to send, maybe it is a more pure message that makes plain or obvious the intention. Okay. I do have the horse at the top of the day. You guys know this message is getting a little bit long. I am going to go ahead and pull some additional animals just for the sake of the camera. We have Young Wolf midday, but we are going to clarify them on Patreon where I do the extended messages, and I hope that you'll join us there. You guys already know, get your brief message on Spotify as well. But we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the title on Patreon with the young members. I hope that you will join us there. Wolf comes out midday with intention. So someone's stepping up, taking the lead. It feels like coming forward to, this could be like make known their intent. Some of you, you've been needing to know this. So keep in mind, this could certainly be people coming towards you or intention being revealed or illuminated to you in some way in circumstances so that you feel confident, perhaps leading in any way that you might be leading or going some sort of new path or new direction or chapter. Octopus comes out at the end of the day, and we have some sort of turning point with the messenger here in purity. Okay. So this is kind of what feels like, I don't know why I feel like something at the end of the day is making a decision for you. Okay. And I don't get, that's not a bad thing. This is kind of like getting a message that if there, this feels like it's breaking down something, I will say it feels like it's in your heart. So for some of you, you could be doing this. It feels like there could be a stony place. And this can sometimes be like where in my heart, I make excuses, but whatever this is, I just heard Trump. So the end of the day, I feel like some sort of Trump card. We'll see what happens, guys. That's what I have for you. I love you. Like, follow, subscribe, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.